Here's our review of Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, originally written by our own Tom, and I've reworded it myself for this video. Elden Ring amazed us in 2022, and now, 2 years later, it's set to do it again. Remember when Miyazaki said the DLC would be about the size of Limgrave? He underestimated it. The Realm of Shadows is a vast land with coiling fortresses, auburn meadows, dank gulls, and broad ravines. It's massive and sensational. As we speculated in our preview, the expansion is fundamentally more Elden Ring. You'll see gorgeous vistas, face terrifying bosses, and enjoy FromSoft's unique design choices. Shadow of the Erdtree is more hostile and punishing, leaning more towards Dark Souls. Your confidence from finishing the base game fades quickly, as standard mobs can wipe you out in a single attack. It caters to veterans while testing your skills and resilience. The open world serves as a conduit between legacy dungeons, which in themselves are crossroads to unexplored areas, typically blocked by bosses. But that doesn't mean FromSoft holds your hand and guides you. You essentially solve puzzles to access portions of the map as the paths are more circuitous, fuzzy, and not too obvious. Exploration is satisfying and elegant because of this. Legacy dungeons, like the Specimen Storehouse, are dense, interconnected mazes of secrets. This one in particular is more claustrophobic than Elden Ring's usual scale, but it's incredibly detailed. And that's a repeated theme throughout. The detail here is amazing. There's enough content here for what could practically be a whole new game. During our early access, we found over 60 weapons, 30 talismans, a dozen spirit ashes, 10 complete armor sets, and countless other gear pieces. The new weapons are fun and inventive, tempting you to give up your trusty Rivers of Blood, Blasphemous Blade, or Moonveil that carried you to victory over Melania, Morg, and the rest of Limgrave. Boss fights are superb and challenging. By the end, you'll encounter over 30. Some are easily beaten, while others pose serious challenges with one-hit attacks throughout. The hard but fair description leans slightly towards unfair sometimes, but balance tweaks and updates should iron out those creases in the coming weeks. Shadow of the Erdtree flirts with perfection, but when sized up against FromSoft's own output, the expansion could be judged more harshly. You'll stumble across a few portions of the map that don't lead to anything all that rewarding, filling up your inventory with a couple of crackable runes that barely make a dent in the amount needed to level up, which can be a little bit of a letdown. More irritating is that this brewed a sort of fatigue in the game's final hours. Sometimes too much of a good thing can end in burnout. That might be a result of blazing through the expansion in such a short space for this review. I'm sure at a calmer paced playthrough, it won't be as apparent, and even the rewardless areas might end up having some environmental lore to untangle. Despite these minor misgivings, we are still going to give Shadow of the Erdtree a 10 out of 10. It just feels special, not just as more content for Elden Ring fans, but because it's remarkably fresh and untapped. We'd recommend this to anyone who yearns for an adventure that will test you, send you to some incredible sights, and will have you coming out the other end feeling accomplished.